in the verdant expanse of Dartmoor, near the village of Dunsford, where ancient woodlands whisper secrets to the wind and the river tone carves a silver path through the hills, lies the estate of Spitchwick, a sprawling manor nestled in a park of gnarled oaks and rolling meadows. Once the seat of the Squire of Spitchwick, its grandeur faded with the centuries, leaving behind a legacy shadowed by tragedy. On moonless nights, the ghostly funeral procession of an old squire has been seen wending its way at midnight out of the park and along the road to Widecombe, a spectral of mourners and a hearse drawn by phantom horses, bearing the squire's restless spirit through the darkness, bound by remorse to reenact his final journey. The tale begins in the early 18th century, during the reign of Queen Anne, when Spitchwick Manor was ruled by Squire Richard Cabell III, a man whose wealth was matched only by his blackened reputation. Born in 1670, Cabell inherited the estate as a young man, his sharp features and sharper temper marking him as a squire to be feared rather than loved. He was known for his cruelty, tenants driven to ruin by his rents, servants flogged for the smallest slights, and hounds kept half-starved to make them fierce for his hunts. Yet his darkest sin, whispered in hushed tones by peat fires, was the fate of his young wife, Eleanor. Married in 1695 to cement an alliance with a neighboring gentry family, Eleanor was a gentle soul, her kindness a stark contrast to Cabell's malice. In 1698, after a mere 3 years, she died under shadowed circumstances. Some said childbirth, others whispered poison. Her body buried in haste in the family vault at Widecombe's Church of St. Pancras. Cabell lived on, his grief, if it existed, buried beneath a veneer of debauchery, but whispers of his guilt clung like damp moss. When he died in 1710, felled by a fever during a stormy November night, his passing was met with more dread than sorrow. Villagers claimed the storm raged fiercest over Spitchwick, lightning striking the manor's tallest oak as if heaven itself marked his end. His funeral was a rushed affair, his body borne to Widecombe in a midnight procession. For no parson dared linger past dusk, fearing the squire's tainted soul. They buried him in the family vault beside Eleanor, sealing it with a heavy stone slab inscribed with prayers to bind his spirit. Yet the moor seemed to shudder as the earth closed over him. Within months, the ghostly procession appeared. On moonless nights, just as midnight tolled from St. Pancras Tower, the spectral emerged from Spitchwick Park, a hearse drawn by 4 phantom horses, their hooves silent on the frost, followed by mourners in black cloaks, their faces obscured as if carved from shadow. At its head walked a figure in a tricorn hat and velvet coat, unmistakably Squire Cabell, his ghostly form leading the way along the road to Widecombe, the path his body had taken in life. The procession moved with eerie stillness, its pace unhurried, vanishing into the churchyard as the clock struck 1, leaving only a chill in the air and the faint scent of damp earth. The first recorded sighting came in 1711, when a shepherd named Elias Taverner, crossing the road near Spitchwick Park at midnight, froze as they emerged. The phantom horse's eyes glowed like embers, the hearse creaked with a weight no living beast could bear, and Cabell's figure turned as if to gaze at him, though no face was visible beneath the hat, only a void where features should have been. Elias fled to Dunsford, his tail trembling from his lips at the 2 bridges inn, sparking fear through the village. In 1754, a peddler named Sarah Harrowell, travelling the Widecombe Road at midnight, saw the procession too, the mourners' cloaks fluttering without wind. Cabell's stride relentless as he led them toward the churchyard, her lantern snuffed out by an unseen breath as they passed. The haunting persisted through the centuries, a midnight ritual etched into Dartmoor's lore. In 1823, a curate named Peter Turner, newly appointed to St. Pancras, sought to confront the spectre, standing by the road as midnight struck. The procession came as foretold, Cabell at its head, his tricorn hat tilted low, the hearse rolling silently behind, and Peter raised his cross, reciting prayers against the dark. But the squire's shade turned, its unseen gaze heavy with malice, and the curate's words faltered as a chill gripped his heart. The past unhindered, vanishing into wide comb as always, leaving Samuel shaken and silent for days. In 1879, a farmer named Thomas Parson, hauling wool to market, glimpsed it from afar, the phantom horses shimmering like mist, Cabell's figure stark against the moonless sky, and hurried his cart onward, swearing he'd heard a faint moan as the procession faded beyond the churchyard gates. By the 20th century, Spitchwick Manor had crumbled into ruins, its lands parcelled out to tenant farmers, but the ghostly procession endured. In 1953, a local historian named Rachel Barnes camped near the park's edge on a November night, hoping to document the phenomenon. At midnight, they emerged from the mist, the hearse's wheels rolling soundlessly, the mourners' cloaks fluttering like raven wings, Cabell's tricorn hat unmistakable as he led them toward Wide Combe. Eliza sketched the scene in trembling pencil, noting a faint scent of damp earth and a chill that lingered until the clock struck 1, when they vanished near St. Pancras Lych Gate. Her account, published in a Dartmoor journal, drew skeptics and thrill-seekers, though few dared linger on the road at midnight. Today, the road from Spitchwick to Wide Combe winds, as it always has, its edges softened by time. The park's oaks still standing like sentinels over a forgotten manor. Villagers in Dunsford and Wide Combe avoid it on moonless nights, their lanterns dim as they skirt the lane, though some pause at a distance, watching for the flicker of phantom hooves or the silhouette of a tricorn hat against the dark. The Squire of Spitchwick's ghostly procession endures, a midnight march of sorrow and sin, wending its way from park to churchyard. A spectral reminder that in Dartmoor, the past does not rest easy, its echoes borne on the wind like mourners' cries. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, follow, subscribe, and comment below.